welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. I have kind of like a compilation of different quick meals that I have made over the last little bit. And yeah, some of them are really easy, some of them are a little bit more work, but for the most part they are fairly quick and delicious, easy meals that you can very quickly put together on a work night or whatever. If you are pressed for time, all you need to do is just thaw your meat and you have this great meal that is ready to go. So without further ado, let's commence into the video and get the meals started. So first up, we have a meal with ground beef. I had thawed my ground beef the night before. I fried it up with some onions, some peppers, and the spices that you prefer. It is a very flexible recipe. I believe I added some chili powder, some taco seasoning, salt and pepper, and kept it pretty basic. I fried that up, added some tomato soup, and added some corn at the end with a little bit of cheese topped on top. On the side, I boiled some macaroni to go with it. And once the macaroni was cooked and al dente and the meat was cooked to its perfection, I then topped the macaroni with a little scoop of this ground beef mixture with a slice of cheese on top, and it was really, really delicious. It is so quick and easy. It's kind of like your own hamburger helper style meal, and it is perfect for a quick meal when you are pressed for time and you want something delicious. And as a little bit of a side, I added some of these party pickles that I had made last summer and a slice of toast with my homemade strawberry jam that I made this year. And it was fantastic. Definitely give it a try. It is really, really good. And next up, we have chicken taco wraps. For this, I had placed some chicken breast into my Instapot with some spices. I had added some salt and pepper, some taco seasoning, and a little bit of homemade salsa as well. Once that was done, I added some cream cheese to it to kind of give it a little more of a creamy texture, and I blended it together to make a shredded chicken. Once the chicken was shredded and blended together with the rest of the ingredients, I took some cheese, spread that on the tortilla shell, and added the chicken on top of that, rolled it up, and that was it. You could definitely fry them or pan fry them, grill them, whatever, if you would prefer to have more of a crispy shell. This day, like I said, it was a busy day and I just rolled them up and we just had soft shells, which was totally fine as well. And as a side, I had cooked some corn on the cob, which was fresh in season, and we had that as our side. It looks like a really plain and simple meal, and it was, but it was delicious and it was something that was quick and easy. Next up, we have what we call kuchen. They are very, very common and popular in our area, and this is a staple that everybody knows that you make in the summertime and you eat when watermelon is in season. There is absolutely nothing better. It is such a fast, quick meal. And yeah, it's a staple for us in our community. And yeah, and it was really nice. And as you could see, there is no rhyme or reason to the shapes, at least not when I make them. I just always make sure that I put a little slit in the middle so that they don't just balloon up into like a cookie with a big hole in the middle. And here John was generously frying them for me. That is always, I really appreciate when he does that for me. And as you can see, they are all different shapes and sizes, and you just fry them till they're nice and golden brown. And of course with watermelon. And I had also made some filled roll cookies. I had filled some of these with pineapple and with raspberries. Strawberries are really good as well. Peaches is really good. And I just add a little bit of sugar into the fruit. You can do whatever you want. You can put some icing sugar on top or you can put it inside. But yeah, this is definitely a very popular common meal. And I'd be so interested to see if you guys had ever heard of this before and if it is something that you eat as well. I have to say, I wasn't even sure I was going to include this one, but you know what? Fall or summer, it is really fun to have a hot dog roast, and we do that a little bit differently. We normally never use hot dog buns anymore. We always wrap them up in a tortilla shell, and if you feel like going all out, you can kind of roast the tortilla as well to make it a little bit crispy. So yeah, here you have it. I was going to include a breakfast as well. These granola bowls, parfait bowls, whatever you want to call them, they are so good, and I kind of topped it off with some melted peanut butter as well. I had not done that before, and it was surprisingly delicious, and I added a little bit of nuts on top as well, so that was really good. Next up, we have a classic Mennonite meal again, which is what we call cottage cheese pierogies or varaniki. This is a very common meal. I grew up with it. My mom made them all the time, and we always eat them with a brown butter white sauce. yeah, there is just nothing better. You cannot substitute any kind of sauce other than this. And as a kid, I guess I didn't really prefer the cottage cheese taste, so my mom always put some strawberry jam on there, and that is still what I do to this day, and it is really, really good. So that was a definite hit. We love that meal. And here we have just a very basic classic sandwich, and you can never go wrong with a good sandwich, I feel. If you have some meat and some cheese, some lettuce, and different veggies that you prefer, it is so good. I love a fresh toasted sandwich. This was just a basic ham sandwich with a little bit of cheese and some chips on the side. For this day, I had made a very underrated bougie tuna casserole. It was so good. You know, people always talk about tuna being so gross, and it was so good. I could have this a lot more often. My husband didn't love this meal, but I did. It was really good. It was topped with some fried crispy onions, and yeah, it was just really top notch. I will see if I can find that recipe still, and I will try to link it below. But if not, try to just Google it. I think I found it on Pinterest. And we just added some fresh garden cucumbers as a side, and there you have it. It was fantastic. Do not underestimate the power of a good can of tuna. You know, when fresh corn on the cob is in season, we seem to have it with almost every meal. And again, we did have it for this meal. It's just so good. I had also made some refrigerated pickles that I gave John for his meal because, like I said, he wasn't a huge fan of this, but yeah, he still did eat it. And with the corn and the pickles or cucumbers on the side, it was perfect. Next up, I am making a rib rub. First up, I have paprika, some black pepper, some brown sugar, and some salt. And at this point, I'm adding in some garlic powder. Next up, some cumin. Can't forget the chili powder. Some dry mustard. And I just mixed it all together to make a nice blended rub. I want to make sure that it's all fully incorporated. And at this point, I am adding some prepared mustard to my ribs, just kind of as a base to make the spices stick to. And I make sure that I coat everything. I really want to do the cut sides, the front and the back, before I add the spice. So once the ribs are fully coated with the mustard, I apply a very generous amount of the rib rub. I want to make sure that it is in everywhere because the more spice, the more flavor the meat has. So I just make sure that I apply it everywhere that the mustard is, on the cut ends, everywhere. And I do a really generous amount as well. And I just kind of rub it in to make sure that it stays on the ribs. And once I have the full rack of ribs coated with the spice and the mustard, I wrap it up in the tin foil to let it marinate overnight. This is actually the day before, and that way the meat has really good flavor for when I want to bake it. I was trying so hard to get them to all fit into one pan, but it was just not meant to be. They were just too big. It didn't work. So I had to bake them in 2 batches. So here I have baked the ribs. They are fully cooked. I am applying a little layer of barbecue sauce from Montana's. It is absolutely amazing. I love it. It's my favorite barbecue sauce. And I'm just applying it generously, and I am going to stick it back in the oven for a little bit just to kind of let it caramelize. And at that point, it will be done and ready to eat. So here it is, fully cooked and ready to be served. I served this with rice and a vegetable on the side, and it was fall off the bone fantastic. So there you have it, a whole bunch of quick and easy, delicious meals. I really hope you got something useful out of this, and please like and subscribe and stay tuned for my next video. Be blessed.